Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I got a little pep in my step. We got a football weekend, Carlyon. I don't even know that or not. I got a little pep going today. Got a football weekend.
Right, in 48 hours, the Jaguars will be up 38-33.
38, and then go to that 4-minute offense, hopefully. Hopefully that's what it'll be. Welcome to the program. Glad you're with us on a Friday. Our Fridays always brought to you by our friends at Big Chief Tire Company, the best tire company around. We love our friends at Big Chief. With 5 locations in town, the Orange Park location, 2 on the west side, the north side, and the south side over here on Phillips Highway. I just went and saw them. I needed my tire looked at, and they are so good. They take such good care of you. Such respectful people. I don't care if it's tires or oil changes or automotive services of any kind, brakes, alignments. They do it all, and they do a great job. I love a football weekend. Jags talk today. FSU Miami, a little bit of that talk today. We'll get the best bets out there today. I heard there's some Raphael Esparza joins us in just a bit, so I'm looking forward to that. Pete Prisco at the top of the hour. I'm excited about Jags-Packers. I might be more excited than others. I'm very excited about what I think that game on what's going to be a gorgeous Sunday afternoon at the park.
Well, and it's been a while since we've had him here, so that's exciting. But I mean, this on a scale of 1 to 10 for a regular season game,
yes,
this is a strong 8.
Yeah,
because
that's right.
If they can beat Green Bay Sunday, it completely reverses the course of the season potentially. If they can get the win and get to 3-5, again, either the Colts or Texans are going to lose. They play each other. So you're going to gain a game on, you'd prefer it to be the Texans, but at the very least, you're going to gain a game on one of those 2 clubs that are ahead of you. And if you can beat Green Bay, I think it absolves some of the week 1 and week 2 setbacks that you endured. If the Jaguars can beat the Packers here and get a win over a team that everybody believes is a playoff team in the NFC side of things, I think it would say a lot for how they've turned their fortunes around. So it is a huge game. And obviously the converse of that is if you lose, now you're 2-6, the road gets even harder in terms of coming back. So I think it's a huge game Sunday for this franchise. And
it's a good day to go. It's a fun time of year. It's late October. It's not 90 degrees anymore. It's not 50 degrees yet. It's a little warm at 80, but it'll be a beautiful day. No rain in the forecast. And a heritage team, man. A team that's, we talked about it yesterday, been playing good football in the NFL for a lot of years. So it's going to be an awful lot of fun at the bank. You know the best way to start it off for me? I want to hear from the coach. You like that idea?
Absolutely.
Jaguars head coach Doug Pederson joined me moments ago.
The coach speaks. Jaguars coach Doug Pederson joins Frank Frangie right now. Presented by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
All right, welcome back to the program. Let's talk football with the head coach. Doug Pederson joins us now, along with Frank Frangie on 1010XL. Doug, how are you, man?
Frank, doing well, man. Appreciate you having me again.
Hey, we're all glad to get home. It was a long trip over there, but you and I talked about this earlier in the week. I sense that your team gets galvanized a bit when they're together over there. Is that a good read? It sure seems that way the last few years and even this year.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. I think the 10 days that we're there. I mean, listen, we don't have to get in our cars and drive home, or we don't. You hate to say it, but you don't have all the family distractions or little kids running around or whatever it might be. I don't know, but we're all in the same hotel. We're all at the same practice, eating in the same meal room and the whole thing. I mean, I just think it's something to the guys hanging together for the 10 days, and we tend to play better, and then ultimately bring that back with us. So looking forward to the game and seeing if that's the case.
You've also found a little something, and you've talked about this, and so it's press all along, that you have to have balance and you've got to be able to run it, and that makes your pass game more efficient. It sure feels like that's kind of where you are now. 16 runs in a row at one point during the game, and I know that's where you wanted to get this thing. Do you feel better about your line, your running game, all of that?
You know what, Frank? I really do. I think the offensive line is playing really good football right now. It's something, we're going to be tested on Sunday. This is a good Packer unit coming in here, but if you have the ability to run the football in this league, it just opens up your passing game, and it makes your quarterback, more efficient. You don't have to necessarily throw the ball down the field or throw it, 30 plus times a game. I think you can keep it. I think you can keep it under 30 attempts and still have the success as an offense. So yeah, the run game, the offensive line, all of that has been good, and we got to keep that going.
You told me something neat about Tank Bigsby yesterday, that what a hard worker he is and what a good kid he is and how he comes to work every day. How do you feel about how he's playing? Because it certainly seems like he's found a little something too, Doug.
Yeah, everything that I saw on film, even back at Auburn, this guy was a downhill, kind of a one-cut player, and he plays physical. He plays behind his pads, and that's what you're beginning to see. And I think the other thing you're seeing too is the patience that he has in the run game. I think a year ago, he was really quick to try to bounce things to the outside, and this year you're seeing him stay patient with the hole, letting the offensive line, work their combos, cutting in behind those B blocks and those A blocks and different things, and just maturing as a young running back, and that's really good to see.
The other part of the offense that everyone's talking about, I'm remiss if I don't ask, is every time we play a game, Brian Thomas Jr. gets behind somebody. It's pretty amazing. In this league where there's so many good defensive backs, he always gets behind somebody. What has made him such a special player? Obviously the speed is real, but gosh, he's a good player, Doug.
You know what? It's the way he approaches the week of practice, quite honestly. We just don't dial those things up on Sunday. We work on those things during the week, and Brian goes full speed in practice, and that's really the only way to really effectively throw the ball down the field is you got to do it in practice during the week, and that's what he does, and he sacrifices himself to do that and work hard during the week, and it's paying off for him on Sundays. And I think it's a lot. I mean, I know he's not Tyreek Hill and he doesn't have that kind of speed, but it's hard to simulate that during the week of practice. It's hard for your defense to say, hey, we're playing Tyreek Hill, get ready for the speed, because on a game day, that dude's coming at you fast. And I think that's what's happening with Brian is, the guys that he's playing against don't realize just how sneaky fast he is, and it's paying off for him.
Yeah, boy, we're seeing that. Let's talk about health a little bit. You were able to open the practice windows for Foye Oluokun and Andrew Wingard. Any thought on where they are, a chance they'll play? Where are we with those two guys?
Yeah, both guys, like you said, open their windows, which means basically you got 21 days now to make a decision, right? You got to bring them back to the 53 or they stay on IR. And both guys practice this week. I think Foyer's a little bit further along with his injury. If everything goes to plan, we should have him in the lineup Sunday, elevated and back on the 53. And I think Dewey's going to be another week. I think it was a good week for him to get out there and practice and run around and kind of feel the injury a little bit. And I think in Dewey's case too, just give him confidence that he can go out there and perform at a high level. But I would anticipate Foye playing and starting this weekend, and then Dewey possibly getting him back next week.
Two other guys, Doug, Travis Etienne and Cam Robinson. Travis obviously been nursing the shoulder. Cam had the concussion. I know he's out of protocol. Any thoughts on those two guys, or is that more of a game day thing?
Yeah, Cam is in a better position. Obviously, he passed the protocol. We got one more hurdle with him, and that's tomorrow. We actually get to kind of bang him around and make sure that there's no setbacks there, and then he'll be cleared for the game that way. But he has gone through all the steps, and medically, he's cleared. Like I said, we just got that one more step to do tomorrow. Etienne is still kind of nursing, the hamstring that he pulled, and I shouldn't say pull. He kind of tweaked it 2 weeks ago. I don't think we're going to have him for this game. Give him one more week to rest. He did practice a little bit this week, which is good. And yet he just can't open up 100% yet. So probably get him back next week as well.
Yeah, that's right. It was I said the shoulder, the hamstring's the most recent.
Yeah, it was the hamstring that he tweaked.
Final thing, tell me about the Packers, Doug. What do you see when you watch them on tape?
You know, it's a group that on defense you're seeing them fly around. They're playing with a lot of confidence. They're creating takeaways. They're number one in the NFL in takeaways, and so we got to be smart with the football. But they're flying around. It's it's an aggressive group, and rightfully so. They're 5-2, and they're playing good. And I think offensively, having Jordan Love back, kind of settles the offense down a little bit. He's playing good from the pocket. Probably not moving and running as much, since the knee injury, but he has the ability to stretch the field, and he's not afraid to try to stick it in windows either. I mean, he's aggressive throwing the football, and they've had success doing that. So it's a good team playing with a lot of confidence, and we get them down here in our stadium, and looking forward to that game.
Yeah, me too. The Jags have found a little something too. Chance to win 2 in a row in 3 of their last 4. So Doug, your team's playing well as well. It's going to be a fun one on Sunday. Doug Pederson checking in. Good luck on Sunday. I'll see you then, Doug. We appreciate it, buddy.
All right, thank you, Frank. See you Sunday.
All right, Jags and Packers coming up on Sunday afternoon. I love catching up with him. I think he's got the team at a good spot.
Yeah, a lot of news there.
Yeah, that's right. He did talk about some things, didn't he? The fact that he's going to have Foye, it looks like.
Yeah, that's great.
According to what he just said a minute ago, he said he doesn't think he'll have Dewey yet.
Yeah.
Doesn't think he'll have ETN.
Right.
And so Doug's pretty transparent. One thing I can tell you, you know this, I've gotten to know him well. There's not a lot of BS. There's not a lot of let's hide this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of let's hide this and not tell him this and not show our hand here. He's just a football coach, man. And so I'm serious about that. I mean, so he's very transparent, very honest, and very open about stuff like that. So, yeah, it is. And
it's exciting. We all want Travis Etienne to be healthy, but it's exciting to know that Tank Bigsby could get 20 touches in this game.
Yeah, that's right.
It's been exciting so far to see that.
Yeah, it's good to have I've always said, and I'll stand by this, they need Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne's a good player. I've said this all along. He's one of the good backs in the league, but he's not the physical. Doug described it as a one-cut guy, which is a great description. He's not the physical downhill one-cut runner that Tank Bigsby is. You need both. And is a guy that can come in more on third downs and more playing space a little bit. He's pretty good. So I'm excited about this game. I'm telling you, I like where they are. It's a chance that you made the point about what the significance of it if they win the game. It would be 2 in a row, 3 out of 4. And again, this is a team, I'll say it again, 2 years ago came back from London and won 8 out of 10 games. Last year came back from London and won 6 of their next 7. This is a team that does, and that's why I asked him that. It does tend to get galvanized over there. They're together a lot. I think they get to know each other better in those 10 days than they did before. Football teams they're transient, man. They're always changing. It's always a different group of guys. There's a lot of the same guys, but there's different, and you sit next to different people in the locker room, and you sit next to different people on the plane, and there's a lot of change. And I think that trip, there's some things that aren't perfect about it. I know that. But I think that trip helps them kind of get to know each other a little. I think we've seen that for 2 years now.
Well, there's no distractions over there because you're so far out. You're not going to really be able to do much, other than your day off.
Right.
You're not going to really probably be able to venture out too much. Most of them, I would assume, some have families that will come over. But for the most part, the players are, I would think, removed from that. And even Doug makes the point of, just the not having to drive in and to work and back home. Well, we know how Jacksonville is. It's spread out. I mean, that could be 50 minutes each day.
That's right.
Well, over the course of 2 business weeks, it's a lot of time.
Right.
That, normally you'd be in your car, that now you're not. And, chances are you're not just staring at a wall by yourself. You're probably interacting with a teammate or a coach or doing something extra to get you ready for the game.
Yeah, and here's something. Where they stay at the Grove, they have a beautiful golf course there. And I have no idea how many of the guys played golf or play golf. I didn't stay out there this year. I've stayed there before. I stayed in central London, which is their downtown. But I love the fact that the golf course is there and that there's other amenities, a spa and whatnot there. Because you don't need, even on your day off, you don't need to get in an Uber and drive 50 minutes to central London. Go play golf or hang out there. The walking trails. Have you been to the Grove? You've been out to the Grove.
I've been out there, but I have.
Yeah.
It's been 8 years at least, and I just have watched practice. Yeah. So I mean, I got a sense of it. But
I'll tell you, the golf course, the walking trails. You probably don't know this, but on vacation I tend to send pictures. I know that's an upset, but I've stayed out there a bunch. So you don't need to leave. And so that it's a great place to spend time with your teammates and your friends and whoever you're out there with. So hopefully we've seen it 2 years in a row. We'll see if it manifests itself again. So good to hear from Doug Pederson, the Jaguar coach, Jags and Packers coming up on Sunday. Which bets to play though? What are the best plays of the weeks? What I want to know. We'll take a break. Hays and Raphael Esparza will go over that with you right after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's time for Bravo Days, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified sales event at Nimnicht Buick GMC. For a limited time, enjoy rates as low as 1.9% APR or $500 in down payment assistance on Car Bravo certified vehicles at Nimnicht. So now is the time to shop certified used vehicles and buy with confidence at Nimnicht Buick GMC, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealer. Now, buying a certified used vehicle has never felt better. With Car Bravo, Nimnicht Buick GMC can certify all makes and models. Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford. All makes, all models. And trading in your old vehicle? Well, don't forget who gives you the top dollar for your trade. Nobody but Nimnicht. So shop online at nimnichtbuickgmc.com or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. Remember, it's Bravo Days, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified sales event is at Nimnicht.
There's a lot more to it than a tight spiral and an accurate pass.
Everyone agrees that playing quarterback is the hardest thing to do in sports.
Denny Thompson is the Quarterback Whisperer. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet. Friday mornings on The Drill.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hays Carlyon from MyBookie. I bet you're feeling good this week. We have been killing it betting with MyBookie, turning spreads, over-unders, and prop bets into straight cash. Huge local game Saturday night is FSU, a 21-point underdog playing the Canes in Miami. And all day Sunday, you can get in on the action. The Packers travel to Jacksonville, where they are a 4.5-point favorite. The Seahawks, a 3-point home underdog to the Bills, with a 47-point over-under total. That's a high total with key players potentially injured, and the under has been crushing this year, so take advantage. Then the most bet on game of the day every week is Sunday Night Football, and this week it's the Cowboys versus the 49ers. I'd look hard at the under here, currently 46.5. MyBookie still has the double deposit bonus that doubles your money on your first deposit up to $1,000. Use promo code 1010XL. Make yourself a winner with MyBookie.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. Jaguars receiver Brian Thomas Jr. continues to wow following his 5-catch, 89-yard performance against the Patriots. We have rookie cards and autographed memorabilia from the standout. Find Brian Thomas Jr. items at Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
Are you tired of having a plain and boring backyard? Really want to impress your family and friends this year? Then stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway. Imagine hosting guests at your new outdoor kitchen, relaxing by your custom-built fireplace under a brand new pergola. Stone Core can also remodel your old pool deck and beautiful new pavers. Make your backyard wishes a reality. Visit Stone Core on Phillips Highway and let's get started at stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Frank Frangie here, and I can't say enough good things about the team at Sunshine Turf and the work they've done for us. Let Sunshine Turf transform your backyard into a low-maintenance oasis that will be green all year long with artificial turf. Caleb and his team can help you create the lush outdoor space of your dreams, whether you want a durable place for your kids to play or you're ready to say goodbye to muddy paw prints. Visit sunshineturf.info or call 904-383-0243 for a free quote today from Sunshine Turf.
Hey, folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
It's all about the beautiful game. The Sporting Jack Soccer Hour. From national teams to youth soccer on the First Coast. Join Cole Pepper, Mauricio Ruiz, and Becky Burley for Soccer Talk. Tuesday at 6 p.m. on 1010 a.m.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists returns with their free bumps and bruises evaluation clinics. Now with 4 locations, these free injury assessments are open to all schools and athletic programs. Saturday mornings from 9 to 10 through October 26th at Cortex Sports Performance in Ponte Vedra, Preferred PT in Fleming Island, and also at Brooks Rehab on Centurion Parkway and Brooks Rehab at World Golf Village.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie is here. JJ LaSelva is here. I'm Hays Carlyon, and we are pleased to be joined with our good friend Raphael Esparza of MyBookie to give us all the ins and outs on where we need to be putting our money this weekend. Raphael, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
Anytime. It's Friday and the World Series Game 1 and football all in the same evening.
Give me a World Series thought, because I'm going to ask you all football, but before we get to that, what's going to happen in the World Series?
I'm thinking Game 7 is going to happen, and I think it's going to be very eventful with Judge and Ohtani. Right now, Dodger money's coming in. I just don't think the Dodgers trust Garrett Cole on the mound, so it should be a very entertaining game. I like the over tonight, 8.5.
I like it. All right, very good. I'm going to start you off right out of the gate. It's not the biggest college football game on the slate, but it's definitely the one that we care about the most here. Florida State traveling to Miami, the Noles getting 21 points. Do you have any feel on this game?
I didn't think they still played football at Tallahassee, but I think the U should have no problem. I think Florida State probably can't wait for baseball season, college baseball season to start. It's going to be a rough one. I think Miami's looking to beat up on the Seminoles.
I'm surprised it's 21. Did that number surprise you at all, that it's not maybe as high as maybe even like 24.5?
It's going to see. I can't wait to see when I wake up in the morning. I think the money will come in tomorrow because I think everyone's excited for the late game tonight between UNLV Boise State. Not that much line movement besides Indiana taking Washington taking a lot of money today in that Indiana game.
Well, give me a thought on Boise State tonight. What do you think happens there?
I think if Syracuse was able to score 40-plus on UNLV's defense, what's the Heisman favorite going to do? I like Boise State. Grab it before it moves to 4.
Yeah, I like that too. In terms of SEC, nothing overly sensational, but we do have a pretty good game in College Station. LSU goes to Texas A&M. This line's been all over the place. Tell us how the money is moved this week on this game, and if you had to bet it, where would you put your money?
I mean, early in the week, you could have got a better number at LSU. Now it's pretty much flattened out. I would not be shocked if LSU's a favorite tomorrow. That's how much money, Tiger money's coming in. It's going to be very interesting to see how LSU travels Taylor Swift is in town at Bet or in LSU area, so I think that the travel is probably not going to be that big of LSU fans. But I like LSU. They've been defense has been playing really, really well game after game.
You break down every angle. That's what we love about you, Raphael. You know if Taylor Swift's there may not be as many Bayou Bengals heading out to Texas. I like LSU in that one too. Missouri, I guess they're not going to have Brady Cook. I think they're listing him as doubtful. Missouri getting 16 was the last I saw, going to Alabama, coming off the loss at Rocky Top. Do you like Alabama to cover here?
I do like Alabama. I think they're going to have finally an Alabama game. My twin brother's family's big Missouri fans. They're traveling to this game, so I'm hoping Alabama whoops them back so they're all mad when they have to drive back to St. Louis. But I think Alabama takes they need a big win because right now they could be outside looking in for college football playoff.
Yeah, without a doubt. I was surprised when I saw the line, and maybe it's moved, but the last I saw, Texas at Vanderbilt, Texas was giving 19. And Vandy certainly seems like they've been feisty. Obviously, they pulled off the upset of the year in beating Alabama. Would I be nuts to take Vandy and getting 19?
I would take Vandy getting 19 because they have a quarterback issue. Coors has not been playing well since he's been back. And do you bench him for a guy that's last name Manning that could give you a better option? That's a mobile quarterback, and Vanderbilt doesn't play well against mobile quarterbacks. I'm very curious to see what happens in this game. But if Vanderbilt lose or wins, they might take the goalpost and go all the way to Texas with
it. They might. Well, boy, wouldn't that be an unbelievable story if Vanderbilt beat Alabama and Texas in the same, basically, about a month apart. Let's get to the NFL. Atlanta, 2.5-point favorite is what I've seen at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay obviously has those massive injuries at receiver. Do you like just the overall point total, the over-under here, if you had to bet Atlanta at Tampa?
I like Atlanta. I mean, they lose at home to the Seahawks. With Geno Smith didn't even have a good game. He threw for less than 250 yards. And then with the devastating injuries that Tampa has at wide receiver, they lost yesterday because there were rumors to maybe try to get Cooper Kupp to come over there. But if the Rams winning yesterday, I think he's off the board. I like Atlanta to bounce back.
Does Indianapolis at Houston grab you at all?
The betting window does. I was very curious because Colt money is coming in, which was Texans money all week long. So I was very curious to see what this number is going to close at. I think Houston wins.
You think Houston wins? What would be I saw it at 5. If it gets up to 5.5 or 6, would you be tempted to take the Colts?
Yes, if it goes to 6, I'll be tempted to take the Colts because they can run the ball against Houston's defense.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to have Jonathan Taylor, so that's that'll be interesting to watch. Another game I'm intrigued by. This is AFC versus NFC. Philadelphia going to Cincinnati. I was kind of surprised the Eagles were the underdog here. Last I saw, they were getting 2.5, so I'd probably take the Eagles. But where do you see this one?
I agree. I know the Eagles' locker room has cancers all over. Everyone's pinpointing. Everyone's still fighting, but they're still winning games. And I want nothing to do with Cincinnati. Right? The only thing I want in Cincinnati is maybe they're chilly because their football team has not been good.
Yeah, absolutely. My bookie's Raphael Esparza joining us, and we will get you out, Raphael, on our game of the week here. And certainly a pretty big one in terms of if the Jaguars can get kind of back in the hunt here. And obviously Green Bay is gotten off to a magnificent start, won 3 in a row. The Packers come to Jacksonville. I think they're giving 4.5. Any thoughts on where you would place your money on this game?
Man, Green Bay is very interesting because they brought in Robert Saleh, Jets ex-coach. And now he's coaching for the defense. And now I'm hearing he's coaching the defense, helping the offense out of the Packers. So that's very interesting. I'm leaning towards Green Bay right now because I like the offense. I like the way they've been able to run the ball. And Jacksonville can't stop the run, even though they stopped it in London. But we're not in London anymore. This is back in Jacksonville. So I kind of lean towards the Packers. But if Trevor Lawrence has a good game, he can do damage to the secondary of the Packers.
Raphael, is there anything else that we haven't gotten to that you like either in the college or NFL ranks?
I like number 1 versus number 2 quarterbacks. You figure Washington's going to have Daniels, and you figure Caleb Williams for Chicago. I'm excited for that one. They moved this game to the late afternoon game because of the excitement. It's going to be a fun game to watch. I think Washington wins this one because I think Daniels does play.
All right. I like it. All right. Raphael, certainly appreciate your expertise and your time, and we will certainly look forward to catching up with you next Friday.
Have a great weekend.
All right. Have a wonderful weekend yourself. My bookies, best analyst going, Raphael Esparza, giving us the latest on where to put our money.
Does a terrific job, and you should have some tips, some really good tips there. We'll take a break. We'll talk some NFL and college football after this. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's just the Jags and the NFL.
That's all I ever think about.
Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony bring you Jaguars Today.
Exactly.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors studio.
Let's do this, shall we?
10 to noon on
1010XL.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hays Carlyon from MyBookie. Find your midseason stride with MyBookie and take advantage of their live betting, especially if a heavy favorite gets off to a slow start. Check out their cool prop bets as well. A lot of good stuff on MyBookie. If you haven't signed up, go to mybookie.ag and register for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL to get a double bonus. MyBookie will double your money on your first deposit for a limited time. Let's take a look at some updated MyBookie lines. The Jaguars are a 4.5-point underdog against the visiting Packers. The over-under is 50 points. The Texans are a 5.5-point home favorite over the Colts. And in college football, the Canes are a 21-point home favorite over the Knowles. Sign up with that promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus. Again, it's a double bonus. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Let's start the debate. Why would someone buy a new car from you? We have an exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new vehicle. We offer a competitive wow price plus free oil changes. How much will someone get for their trade? We offer more than $4,000 over KBV value. Well, we never lose a trade over price. Okay, when is the best time to buy a car? Right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter which side you pick. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, you get it all. Let us show you why we're the winning vote.
This is Hays Carlyon from my friend Holt at Harold & Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold & Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold & Harold and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
Think you can't afford to buy a home? Think again. Lennar offers a range of new homes at affordable prices with a simple and hassle-free buying experience. Every home comes with our Everything's Included package, which means you get premium features and upgrades at no extra cost. For a limited time, enjoy rates as low as 3.99% and no closing costs on select homes when you finance through Lennar Mortgage. Call us at 904-917-2372 to find your dream home today. Lennar, the home for you.
Baloo here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Pregame Friday
Is brought to you by MyBookie
and Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here, and it's time to beat Big Joe. Each week, my buddy Big Joe from Bono's Barbecue will pick 10 college football games. Pick more wins than Big Joe that week, you'll get entered into a drawing to win a $25 Bono's gift card. If you pick more wins than Joe all season long, you'll be entered to win the grand prize: 2 tickets to the SEC Championship game, 2 tickets to the Dr. Pepper tailgate party, and $1,500. Enter to win on the Bono's app. The contest ends on November 23rd. Grand prize winner will be named on the 25th. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
When a plumbing or septic emergency happens, you want to have your ducks in a row with a company you can trust. Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services is the #1 company on the First Coast. Check out our reviews online. DuckDuckRooter.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists congratulating this week's high school scholar athlete, Mason DuBois, senior volleyball player at Mandarin High. Macy is a member of the National Honor Society, has applied to attend the University of Tampa. Congratulations, Macy.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at goosehead.com.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Find your why with membership at the First Coast YMCA. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Come try free access to your local Y every Wellness Wednesday this month. Check out our fitness classes, swimming, pickleball, youth sports, and so much more for free every Wednesday in October. Plus, we'll waive the join fee when you become a member this month. Get active, be social, live healthier, and discover all the benefits of YMCA membership at your local Y or visit fcymca.org.
Pickett here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between a patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars defensive end Trayvon Walker this week in the Jaguars locker room with Mia O'Brien on the difference from year 2 to year 3.
I'll just say I'm playing a lot more free. Like I feel like I'm back in college my junior year. I feel like every year I feel like I'm back in college, but my junior year in college I felt the most comfortable because I've been through so much. My first 2 years, my first year, I went from just playing third down to building, obviously, into my second year, first and second down row, and that's kind of where I am now, just going out there and playing fast.
Trayvon Walker this week in the Jaguars locker room with Mia O'Brien. Jaguars, Packers, kickoff Sunday at 1 o'clock. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. 1010
Take.
Frangie's 1010 Take is brought to you by Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows K-12, a tuition-free A-rated school. Enroll now at baymeadowscharter.org.
The SEC is always talking about Georgia, and with good reason. They won 2 national titles and almost more of that. They are the elite program in America now. The SEC people are always talking about Alabama with good reason. Nick Saban won more than we can count, and they've got a very good team, and they beat Georgia this year in Kalen DeBoer's first year. The SEC loves to talk about Ole Miss because Lane Kiffin is the coach that everybody wants to hire. The SEC loves to talk about Tennessee because Josh Heupel plays fast and quick, and they're a top 10 team, and everybody talks about how good they are. The SEC loves to talk about Florida and whether or not they will ever bounce back. Will Florida be a team that finds a way to bounce back? Is Billy Napier on the hot seat? The coach, the most unappreciated coach in America, the best coach in America that nobody ever wants to hire, is in the SEC and might win the whole damn thing, and that's Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly is a really good coach. He's been a really good coach everywhere he's been, at Central Michigan and Cincinnati and Notre Dame and LSU, and nobody's fighting to hire him ever, and they should be. Fantastic football coach, and they are in first place in the SEC, and if they beat LSU, they will be the only undefeated SEC team. The best coach that never gets credited with being the best coach is Brian Kelly, and that's the 10-10 take. He's really good.
He is really good, and I think they're going to win Saturday night to stay undefeated in league play. It's still a mystery to me how they lost to USC in the opener based on what's happened to the Trojans.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's his birthday today. Brian Kelly turns 63 today.
I did not realize that was his birthday, but I'm just telling you, he's a good coach, man. He's never the guy. Nobody ever tries to hire him. Now, I guess Notre Dame did when he was at Cincinnati. He was a hot coach,
right?
But nobody's ever, he's never. All these other names pop up on every list.
Yeah, I mean, I think his first 5 years at Notre Dame, there was some conjecture of would the NFL go after Brian Kelly?
That's right.
Because his style would seemingly fit. And then that kind of cooled down. And then I think everybody just sort of assumed he'd stay at Notre Dame until he was going to retire. And I was shocked when he left Notre Dame to take the LSU job. And certainly while there have been some comedic moments in his tenure there, you can't argue with what they've done on the field. I mean, they have been, obviously a good and now possibly elite unit since he's been there, and obviously he's produced a Heisman Trophy winner there. And if he is able to win the national title, it will really be astonishing to me that LSU's last 4 head coaches will have all won national titles there. When you think of Saban, Les Miles, Ed Orgeron, and Brian Kelly.
4.
That's
you're right. If it's a 4th coach does it, and look, if he does it this year, that means he did it the year after he lost the Heisman Trophy winner. That's pretty amazing stuff. And give him credit, by the way. Jaden Daniels got to LSU as an okay player, was just a guy at Arizona State. It's not like every school was knocking his door down to get him to come.
Right.
And once Brian Kelly got there and inherited him, he did a terrific job with him. So Brian Kelly's a good coach. So we'll get back to NFL with Prisco in about 20 minutes. Where's the college football playoff headed? Right now, who's the national champ? Georgia?
I would pick Georgia.
Yeah.
I just think that they're
Yeah, you got to pick
they're
right.
experienced,
Right.
they're deep. I do think Carson Beck, while his numbers, haven't been astonishing, it may actually help him because I think he's kind of out of the Heisman running now. I mean, barring something just unbelievable, barring like freak stats over the next month, it feels like he has sort of been passed by probably too many guys to come back and win it. But that may also alleviate some pressure on him in the offense. When you're not having to, when that goal has almost been removed, I think it can help a quarterback. So I'm not betting against Georgia. I mean, I think Georgia wins it. And
you got to pick one team, you'd pick Georgia.
Without a doubt.
JJ, if you had to pick one team right now, knowing we know this many weeks in, who's winning the national title?
I actually would go outside the SEC. I think it's a down year for most teams. I think Carson Beck's been bad most of the games. I don't see them winning it just because I don't think he's going to be able to put up enough points in some of these games. I would go with either Ohio State or Oregon.
Yeah.
Probably Ohio State. I know they lost to Oregon, but it was on the road. I don't think an SEC team's going to win this year.
Yeah, I would pick Georgia. Part of it's because I'm provincial, and I probably am an SEC snob that can't shake it. The other thing is I don't know that I would have said that before they went and gutted Texas in Austin. Now maybe Texas isn't that good, but that one really got my attention. But I hear you. I do think this is the year that the Oregon, Ohio State, whoever emerges, and I know they played once, but it was a regular season game on somebody's home turf. Whoever emerges there might win it. I don't think – it's not other years where I was convinced Georgia and Alabama were better than whoever, the Big Ten or whatever threw out. I don't think it's that year. To your point, JJ, I don't think it's that. But I would still pick Georgia, but not in a landslide in my mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that defense looks so fierce, though, that Georgia defense.
Yeah, that's why I would pick them. Go ahead. You're going where I was going to go.
Can Miami win it?
Miami can win it. Now, I think Miami, there is concern how many points they keep giving up. But part of me thinks, and JJ, we talked about this yesterday, part of me thinks that's kind of how the games are playing out. Miami plays fast. Cam Ward plays at such a kind of an exotic style that they score quickly, and all of a sudden when you play against them, you've got to try to score quickly. And there's not a whole lot of 56-10s anymore among good teams. The players are too even, So I think that leads to all the points. But having said that, JJ, I am concerned they're giving up too many points, and so I probably wouldn't pick them to win it. But to Hayes' question, Same question for you, JJ, and I know you're a fan of them, but I think Miami could win. This is a year that the fourth or seventh best team could win the national championship. How do you feel about that, JJ?
I think they have the best offense in football.
Yeah, they seem
but I just don't think they're ready yet. And honestly, if I had to pick one team out of the ACC, I would pick Clemson. Like, they're really picking up the pace right now. Their offense looks sick, and they just have a better defense than Miami. I know they didn't look good in that second half against Georgia. It was week 1. But I don't think Miami's ready in the secondary. Like, if they had to play, Ewers or Gabriel or somebody like that, I think they would get picked apart by one of these quarterbacks, the same way we see Cam Ward picked. So it would be a great game against, an Oregon, a Texas, Carson Beck or something like that, but I don't think Miami could win the Natty this year.
By the way, speaking of the ACC, let me tell you this. Throwing a pick six is a bad game.
Oh, my
God. Hang on. Throwing a pick six is a bad game. Throwing 2 pick sixes is a bad season.
Yeah.
Throwing 3 pick sixes is kind of a bad career. Throwing 3 pick sixes in a half, I've never seen it in my life. I've never seen that. He threw 3. God bless his soul. And this is a guy that once upon a time was at Ohio State. Kyle McCord. He threw 3 pick sixes in one half of football. And I checked the roster to make sure, and I thought about this. I just had to be sure. Darrelle Revis isn't there anymore. I just wanted to make sure Revis Island was gone. I've never seen anything like that.
When Reeves threw 9 for the Gators, how many of those were any of those pick sixes?
I remember the game. When John Reeves threw 9 interceptions.
What?
Reeves threw
Florida
9
had a quarterback, John Reeves, throw 9 in a game.
Who was a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Who's a very good player and went on to be a first-round pick, threw 9 interceptions against Auburn in the game. Yeah.
What year would this have been?
71, maybe?
71.
His great year was 69. I don't think it was – he was there 69, 70, and 71. And his senior year 71. I want to say that was 70 or 71. I don't think he did it. It might have done it 69. They lost Auburn, but I think they lost Auburn that year. But he threw 9 in the game.
Because if you throw 9 in a game, maybe 3 went all the way back. Because if I'm in offense, if I'm one of the other 10 guys on offense, I'm like, John, I'm not chasing these guys anymore.
1960, 79, by the way, or 69.
It was okay. And by the way, he was great that year. Other than that game, they were 9-1-1 that year, and he was really good. He was like one of the best quarterbacks. 2 years later, he went in the first round, but 9 interceptions. And by the way, Spurrier. So John Reeves, God rest his soul, was the tight end coach, and under Spurrier, and it was Carl Franks and Rod Broadway and all those guys, and Jim Collins and Bob Sanders. That group that was together, and they used to wear him out. And Spurrier told me one time, he said, Frank, if you didn't let it bother him so much, we'd quit doing it. but we keep doing it. 9 or something. But back to last night, it was bizarre. Yeah. It was and look, I mean, in Pitt's undefeated. Now no one's paying attention to them. And I mean, where are they ranked?
They play Clemson.
18? They have played them, or
they do.
Yeah,
because there's a scenario where there could be like multiple ACC teams undefeated, and like Miami could win every game in the ACC and somehow not get to the title game. I don't know what
they won't let that happen.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell.
Wouldn't the tiebreaker be? You would think highest ranked team,
maybe.
I mean,
by the way, so I'm reading about John Reeves' performance that day.
Yeah.
It was against Auburn.
Yeah, it was Auburn.
So he had a 10th, but it was negated by a penalty.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Is that right? But again, the irony of that was, so just so you know the story that season, Florida had been what they had always been, overrated, not very good. And then they lost all their – Spurrier graduated after the 66 season. They had quarterbacks – and I was a little kid, but my dad – so I you know me, I know all the names. So Harmon Wages from here and Jackie Ekdahl were going to be the quarterbacks in 67, okay? And Harmon wound up being a running back in the NFL. Ekdahl never made it. He was just a left-hander, wasn't just okay. So the next year they took Larry Rentz, who was a wide receiver, and made him a quarterback. Well, he was a wide receiver. So they didn't know what to do. So in 69, back then, freshmen weren't eligible. You couldn't play until the mid-70s if you're a freshman. You weren't eligible to play. So they get all these sophomores. Reeves was the quarterback. Carlos Alvarez the receiver. You know that name. Mike Rich, Tommy Durrance were the running backs. They called them the Super Softs. They were unbelievable. They won 9. Florida, in 10-win season, they won 9 games. They were 9-1 in the regular season, except for the one game And maybe they tied Georgia. Maybe that was what it was. I bet they tied Georgia that year. But anyway, long story short, it wasn't some bad play. Last night, the guy looked like a bad player.
Right.
So it was just one of those games that John Reese threw all the interceptions. Anyway, last night. But is Pitt any good? Jay, did you watch? You watched last night for a while, right?
I watched up until the end of the first quarter when it was over.
Yeah,
because they literally were up like 30 points. It's hard to tell from that game, man. That was such a fluke performance. I mean, what's crazy is Syracuse was moving the ball at will. Like Kyle McCord was moving the ball, and then he would just throw another pick six. And the returns were crazy good. It wasn't like the ball just popped into a guy's arms at the 10-yard line. These were athletic returns for touchdowns. I was very impressed by Pitt last night. Their quarterback, Heilman, I think his name is. He's decent. So
Eli Holstein.
Yeah. So they're going to be pretty tough against Clemson in a couple weeks.
And by the way, McCord, not because he wasn't satisfied with the 3 pick sixes. Threw 2 more, too, by the way. They just won't run back.
Well.
He threw 5 interceptions. he threw 64 passes in the game. I remember one point he had 33 attempts, and they were still in the first half. And I did the same thing you guys were talking about. I said until the NFL game, which was very good, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Until the NFL game started, I watched the college game. So, but anyway, no. So I mean, here's Pitt sitting at 7-0, 3-0 in the league. They're ranked 19th. Again, I'm assuming they haven't played. I don't pay attention.
They must have played no one out of conference.
But, I mean,
would be my guess. Well, didn't they play West Virginia? Didn't they bring that?
Yeah, they came from behind, and maybe that's the problem is because they had to come from behind.
38-34. They only beat UNC, who's bad this year, by 10.
Yeah.
But next week, big one, SMU, who's also undefeated in the conference against Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So I don't think the league's very good. I think Miami's very good.
Yeah.
But Clemson, Miami, Pitt, and SMU are all undefeated in the conference, and Duke and Virginia Tech have lost one.
See, I don't think Clemson can win the national title, but I think Miami can.
Yeah, I do too.
I think Miami's the only team in the ACC that can win the whole thing.
One quick point before we get to Pete Prisco, since we don't have news or don't have headlines today, and we'll get to this. I'll ask Pete about this, but the NFL does a lot of smart things. It's inexplicable how face mask isn't reviewable. I understand.
It takes all of 2 seconds to.
Right. I understand how pass interference is, and I understand how holding isn't, because they can always be subjective. Face mask is never subjective. You can always tell. And they were smart to get rid of the 5 and the 15. Now, if it's a face mask, it's a face mask. But I'm not sure the Vikings go down and score, and they would have needed a 2-point conversion. But it was a minute and a half left. It wasn't like there was 20 seconds left and you were needing a couple Hail Marys.
And Justin Jefferson still plays for the Vikings.
Yes, and Sam Darnold's had a very good year. So how in the world on God's green earth can anybody say there's rational reason for that not to be a reviewable call?
You can, and you hit the nail on the head with it. It's very black and white. A face mask it's not open to interpretation. The video is very clear. Whether sometimes you can think it's a face mask, but on review, when they replay it, you can see it's more in the shoulder pad area. But this was clearly a face mask, and it ended the game. And that whether Minnesota would have gone down and scored is, to me, immaterial to the fact that they have to have the chance to do it. And it's really embarrassing, I thought, for the NFL that's how that game ended.
Throw the flag based on the defender's reaction?
Well,
even if you didn't see,
and the torque of Darnold's head
moving back, but But the defensive end or whoever was like, damn it, like he threw his hands down. It would have been a game-winning sack.
And in fairness to the officials, okay, the reason you have replay is there are going to be times when, I know there's 7 of them out there, you might not see it, and so that's football is different than any other sport. Baseball, you know where the plays are. The bottom line is baseball, other than diving catches, it's at one of the 3 bases, home plate, or the 2 foul lines. You know where the play is. So it's easy. Basketball, it's only 94-foot court. You knew most of the action most of the controversies in the lane. You pretty much know that. It's around the basket. Football, it's 100 yards. It's 52 yards wide. It's really fast guys running all over the place. Football's why sports need replay more than any other sport. And I felt bad for the officials. What Trey Blake said afterwards is, none of us saw it. You can't just, and if the league doesn't allow us to turn it over when obviously it was what are we supposed to do, right? I mean,
yeah,
they are. I'll defend. Sometimes if you don't see it, you don't see it. I've always said this. I'm way angrier when someone calls something that didn't happen, because then you're making it up, than I am when someone misses something that did, because then that's a human error that I understand.
Yeah, but again, it just speaks to it's a bad system, and they are using the guy in the booth to help them a little bit in terms of some spotting of the ball and things like that, and they need to incorporate face mask into that, because it could have been very simple for somebody to quickly radio, or somebody, but the guy in the booth, the official in the booth, to radio down and say, we've got a face mask penalty here.
Yeah, so, right, and then you go. Then you fix it. All right, let's talk more NFL. We'll take a break. Pete Prisco joins us after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL. 2 hours after the final whistle on game day. Join hacker Leon and Coach Campo for the window world of Northeast Florida 5th quarter.
From Island Girls Cigar Bar on Gate Parkway.
Brought to you by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings. Now, the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Gator Injury Report.
After last week's 48-20 win over the Kentucky Wildcats, Florida heads into their second bye week of the season. This is good timing for the Gators to nurse some more injuries, as the second half of their season is an absolute gauntlet of a schedule. They return from their bye next weekend right here in Jacksonville as they take on the Georgia Bulldogs, with that game's injury report coming to you next week. I'm Max Fink with your Gator Injury Report update, presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
If the Florida heat is getting you down and you're sweating up a storm, fire up a phone call to Florida Home AC and order an AC tune-up. It's the best way to beat the heat and keep your AC unit working at peak performance. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com for their tune-up special and make sure you're primed for the peak of that heat. Florida Home AC, the official AC provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and just a phone call away at 777-4300. Order that tune-up today.
This is Hays Carlyon for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Bank in the 2024 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the New Durban location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists congratulating this week's high school scholar athlete, Mason DuBois, senior volleyball player at Mandarin High. Macy is a member of the National Honor Society, has applied to attend the University of Tampa. Congratulations, Macy.
Hey gang, Prosser here, telling you once again about Chad and Sandy Newman. Mortgage rates are down, creating more active buyers and sellers. If you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home before more homes flood the market, driving down prices. So maybe you want guaranteed no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. They can handle that. You see, Chad and Sandy can take every problem you think you have and replace it with a promise. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. The success stories are rolling in. Mike and Lisa in McCormick. We inherited a family home that came with equity, but also a mortgage. We needed to sell fast to avoid extra expenses on a second mortgage. We heard about Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. Everything they say on the radio is true. The home sold in 3 days for full asking price. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200, or go to chadandsandy.com. That's ChadAndSandy.com.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
I'm living proof that with Rebound Rehab, you can bounce back and get back in the game. Joe C. for Rebound Rehabilitation, and they helped me recover from an ankle injury that had me down and out. Their team of physical therapists ensure you'll get the best treatment you need to recover and regain mobility. From back, shoulder, and neck pain to a nagging knee or arthritis, Rebound Rehab can help form a game plan through therapy and exercise, complete with an app so you can continue to recover at home. Check out reboundrehab.com. 8 convenient locations.
The Jaguars are back at Everbank Stadium to go head-to-head with the Green Bay Packers for our crucial catch game. Join us October 27th as we fight cancer through early detection, risk reduction, and awareness all game long. Lock in your tickets now by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you there.
I'm with Greg Mackey from Cycles of Jacksonville, and even though you're the place to go for fun, you're also a place to go for generators. People need generators.
And the Honda lineup is amazing. They make the super quiet model, inverter technology, the electricity's super clean. You can have conversations with them. You can back up your whole house with a Honda generator. So we have them in stock, and we're ready to ride.
So you have generators big enough that could run everything in the house.
Absolutely.
Check it out, Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency for generators.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Riddle Wellness. The 5-3 Bishop Kenny Crusaders have won 2 games in a row. Head coach Tim Krause on the recent play of the Crusaders.
I think we're an ascending football team right now. I really do. I think we're starting to play really good defense. I think we're back to playing really physical football. We were banged up for a little while. They were experiencing some injuries, over the course of the last couple of weeks. And now I think we're back on a horse, and I'm excited to see how we keep going.
Coach Krause and Bishop Kenny play at Westside tonight at 6:30. You can hear the broadcast on 92.5 FM. It's 83 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Barra & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time for all things Jaguars and NFL with Pete Prisco. The Prisco Report, presented by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Showtime.
On the Frangie Show.
All right, we thank our friends from Showtime. Showtime does a great job. They're the corner of Phillips and Shad. You can find them on all the social channels, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'll tell you what, if you're a fan of a team, it doesn't matter who you root for. They've got cards, they've got memorabilia. It's not just cards now. Posters and helmets and footballs and baseballs and memorabilia like you can't imagine. Any collector should head to Showtime. They're the best in the business. Go see them at the corner of Shad and Phillips Highway. Pete Prisco Jones. Pete, how you doing, buddy?
You make it back from London? You had a good trip?
I had a great trip. Suzanne and I had a good time. We went over to Ireland in between. It's a long trip. Now it's a long trip, but it was a great trip, Pete. It was good. And I had Doug on today. And what's interesting, Pete? 2 years ago, they were struggling. Came back from London and went 8-2. Last year, came back from London and went 6-1. I don't think that's an accident. I think they kind of get to know each other a little. I think it galvanizes them a bit. I would expect they'll play pretty. I know there's a brutal stretch of games coming up. We all know that, but I would think they play pretty well. What do you think?
Well, they'll play okay, but this is a brutal slate starting on Sunday. Navigating through this to 2-2 the next 4. I think you'd be happy about that. So yeah, look, they played better. I think on Sunday that's a bad team, the Patriots, but they played better. And Trevor Lawrence has been playing better. For all the talk early in the season about him, he's been pretty good the last 4 games. So I do think that they're playing better as a team. But, boy, I tell you what, Frank, getting through that schedule at 2-2 the next 4 weeks will be tough to do.
Yeah, I said this on the air, and you know this. Of the 32 teams in the league, Pete, 11 of those teams have 2 losses or fewer. So for today, those are the 11 elite teams, and the Jags play 5 of them in a row. That counts the Texans, too. 5 of them in a row. That's as tough a 5-game slate as I can remember anybody having in a while.
It really is. And you know what? There's so much parity in after the top of the league that even at where they're at right now, nobody's out of it in the AFC for that last spot. I mean, there's a lot of teams in it, and I think Miami's looking with Tua coming back. They think they're in it, and I think if somehow, some way Jacksonville get on a run, they'd be in it. But it's going to be real tough to do that.
Pete, how do you think the Jaguars' defense can hold up against those Green Bay receivers? And if you can, how would you rank those young Green Bay receivers?
Well, they finally listened to me and put Darnell Savage at safety, something I've been preaching on this show since training camp, remember?
Right, yeah, I do.
I mean, he was always a safety. He should have never been the nickel. And I think they're finally getting to the point where they're playing the best guys back there. Savage, and it depends on what they do when those other guys come back. But Savage needs to be playing. Antonio Johnson showed that he can't play back there. He can do some stuff near the line of scrimmage as a nickel, or dime linebacker type player, but he can't play in the back end. And so they made the move, and I thought it was the right move. Getting Jones on the field, he's quicker, he's athletic. I think that makes sense. And now they have to decide what they do with Monteric Brown. And that's an interesting one for me because he's been solid. He hasn't been great, but he's been a feisty, good player. And so what do you do with him now? Where do you? And I know that they rotate like they're a hockey team. I love saying that, but what do you do with him? I
think what's going to happen, I'll give you my take, is last week they knew Tyson Campbell could only go 35 or 40 plays. He hadn't played in a while. There were 63 in the game. I think this week, Pete, you'll see Tyson closer to 45 or 50, and I think Monteric will still back up both guys, so he'll play both sides. But by next week, not Sunday, but by the time they get to Philadelphia, I think Tyson's going to play a whole game, which means Monteric Brown, I think, then will have a chance to beat out Ronald Darby. Now, they're both going to play. You with me on that? I think they're both going to play. Yeah. But I think my guess is he'll have a chance to win that job when Tyson Campbell's back to not being a rotated guy.
It'll be weird if you have Monteric Brown playing for Ronald Darby and Ventrell Miller playing for Devin Lloyd. I mean, and the coaching staff should do it that way.
Right.
But it's never a good look when you have a guy who signed as a free agent and a guy who's traded up to go get his first-round pick not playing the majority of the snaps. So, yeah, it's just, look, but play the best players. And if that's the best – and the way I would play it, if they're all healthy, I would play Brown, Campbell, and Jones. That's how I would play the corner.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if that's where they go. And I think that may be where it lands. You mentioned Ventrell Miller. I can tell you this. What they love and what teams in the league love, and you know this, everyone's got players they talk about on defense. Nobody talks about the Chiefs linebackers, Nick Bolton and Willie Gay, the 2 inside linebackers. But, Pete, they're both about 210, soaking wet, and they run 100 miles an hour, right? And that pair, Bolton and Gay, for the Chiefs are one of the best pairs.
Well, last year, because Gay's gone from there, but
but
last year, the last couple of years when they won Super Bowl,
when Bolton and Gay played together, when they were both there together, they were fast. They were kind of like the old Colts linebackers, Gary Brackett, like those guys. And I think that is what the Jags are trying to do. I think I'm really interested in seeing Ventrell Miller and Foye Oluokun together. How do you think they'll play together? I think that's two really fast first step tackling machines.
Yeah, and both of them can cover. I think Miller's got problems when, with his zone drops because he's just a kid. He's learning that stuff. He'll be fine when he does that. But, man, he can go put some thumping on people in the run game. He can chase down plays. He's athletic. And like you said, he can run. And Oluokun can run. So I think that's the smart thing to do. And, again, I'm going to give the coaching staff some credit on this. A lot of times you hold off on that. And you push back and it's probably pushed back from above because you did trade up to go get that linebacker. And, if he's not playing, then all of a sudden you look around and you go, well, wait a second, is that a mistake? And so, but I give the coaching staff credit because they're going to play the best guy. And Ventrell Miller right now is the guy who should be playing.
How should the Jaguars offense try and attack Green Bay's defense?
Well, up until last week, they had to have some problems, rushing the passer. It had been a little bit of an issue with them. So they did get after C.J. Stroud last week, and they came with a bunch of different looks. And the Texans' offensive line, as you guys know, isn't very good right now. So I think you can hit some shots. I think this game's going to get a little wild. I really do. I don't think Jacksonville – those receivers you mentioned, Hays, at Green Bay, those guys can, fly. Watson can. And the other guys are darn good, and the offensive line's good. So he's going to put up points, and I think Jacksonville's going to be forced to put up points with them. And I think they can. I think the way, Brian Thomas is emerging, and I thought the plan was good last week. Throw the ball down the middle of the field, hit some shots, and then come back and run the football. Throw some shots and run the football. I didn't like the four straight bubble screens, and it was 4 consecutive plays. I think it was 3 bubble screens and a reverse, if I'm not mistaken. Hated that.
Yeah.
But I thought they drove the ball down the field a little bit more at the end of the day.
What do you think? They want to run the football, and I think if you follow the league so closely, it seems to me physical teams are becoming all the rage. And it's not that that's new, by the way. You've always had to be physical at football, but I almost think we're rediscovering running backs. Hays brought that up the other day. We're rediscovering downhill running and running between the tackles, and I think the Jags want to do that, Pete. I think that's important, and I think Trevor Lawrence will be a better quarterback off of play action more than 5 wide. Agree or disagree?
Well, you know what that is, Frank. That's because everybody's gone to, spreading people out, and you get the extra, nickel and dime defensive back on the field, and we want to rush the passer. That's what everybody says, and then they say, okay, well, let me get fast, athletic guys and move my ends inside the tackle, and then so what they do is they start pounding them, and it was always going to come back to that. Now that and so you have to be able to run the football. You have to be able to pound people when you need to run it. You can't. I think backing people off is one thing, but when you need to run the football, you have to be able to run the football. And I thought they showed that. Other than the 3rd and short and 4th and short, which they're still not great at, they ran the ball well last week. It'll be a bigger much bigger challenge this time around, because that New England defense isn't very good, and they pushed them around a little bit. So, but you're right. I think it's the fact that the game has changed so much, Frank, to the fact that you do have so many little guys on the field that you pound them a little bit. And I think that's something that more teams are moving to.
You mentioned the Dolphins having some momentum with Tua coming back. We saw it last night. The Rams get a huge win. They get Nakua back. Cooper Kupp is back. It's interesting because I'm guilty of this too. You forget how long the season is. And if the Jaguars can win Sunday, Pete, how would you view that? Is it fair to say if the Jaguars win Sunday, they are back in the hunt?
Oh, in the AFC with that final spot, they're definitely in the hunt. No question about it if they win on Sunday. Now, if they lose on Sunday, then you got to start wondering if they're going to have a fire sale. I mean, that's the other part of that equation. You start trading off assets and look around for, the future. I think that's the flip side of it. And I threw one out there on Twitter today. If you're the Minnesota Vikings, you just lost your starting left tackle. Don't you call on Cam Robinson? I mean, it's the last year of his deal, and if Walker Little was the best offensive lineman last week. I'm not saying he's going to play at that level every single week, but he was the best offensive lineman on tape when I watched it. And so if somebody calls on, and the Vikings need a left tackle, they can't play left tackle with David Quisenberry over there. They got to get a left tackle. So if they make a call, you listen. I would.
Pete, a couple things apart from the Jags. Number one, what are the chances they'll fix the whole not reviewing face mask thing? That was horrible. It makes no sense that when I understand how you can't review holding, and reviewing pass interference was a disaster when they tried to put that in there. I get it. But that was terrible last night. Will they fix that?
Well, I think that's an easy fix, too. You just go to the replay assist and say, okay, it was a face mask. We didn't see the face mask. We thought he grabbed something else, and it was a face mask. Right. But the other part of that, Frank, they still had to go 80 yards and get a touchdown in a 2-point conversion.
I don't think they were going to win the game, but it was a minute and a half, not 30 seconds. It wasn't Hail Marys.
Yeah, I know, but if it was if they had been on the other side of the field at the 25-yard line or something like that happened, then you say, okay, yeah, that cost them a chance to win the game. But they were at, no. I mean, look, it was a bad call, terrible call, bad. There was some bad officiating in that game, by the way, and that was among them. But it didn't cost them the game.
All right, we're running late here. Tell me, Jags going to beat the Packers? Who do you like?
No, I think high scoring. By the way, if you're going to be there, enjoy it because it's going to go up and down the field all day long. But I don't think they're good enough on defense to beat them. They'll score. I like the way they're going on offense, but I don't think they'll stop them on defense.
It's going to be a tough game, no question about it. Pete Prisco checking in from CBSSports.com, brought to you by Showtime. Thank you, Pete.
All right, guys, take care.
All right, we'll take a break. Are you ready for picks?
Let's do it.
You ready, JJ?
I'm limping in.
Well, I'm right with you, bro. We got our picks coming up next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harold and Harold studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
He's a master at recon. Hays Carlyon takes you behind enemy lines on 1010XL.
What's your position?
That's top secret. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway.
Are you a member of the Ran Out of Room Club? Maybe it's a boat, RV, or cars. Maybe it's office space. A luxury storage unit at the Shed is your solution. Opening soon in Atlanta Beach. AC and plumbing available and spots filling fast. Don't join the Ran Out of Time Club. Go to theshedjacks.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. So how do you decide? With so many messages on air, I know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. When you've been injured in an accident, you need help from someone you know, someone you can trust. Harrell & Harrell, a name you know, a name you trust. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
Getting you ready for the game. Pre-Game Friday. Brought to you by MyBookie and Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
It's the chomp of the swamp and the bark of the dogs. Florida Georgia Week is enhanced by Ackerman Urology and Cancer Center and Kingfish Pest Control.
Two awesome rivals
Jacksonville football fan bases.
On 1010XL.
Hey, Hickett here. I want to talk skin along with my friends at Peaches Dermatology, reminding you to wear your sunscreen. Football season is back, baby. And with that, days under that bright sun. So when you load up that truck for the game day tailgate, or the chairs for your kids' flag games, or even the boat heading downtown to watch our Jags, make sure you bring the screen. Sunscreen, that is. It's a must here in Duval. But if you have any concerns right now, give Beaches Dermatology a call online at beachesdermatology.com.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Hacker here, and guys, the countdown is over. I didn't just hit the 100-pound mark. I blew past it thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. 107 pounds gone just like that. More weight than a quarter keg of beer. Speaking of beer, here's where it gets fun. We're throwing a big celebration at Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra Beach. Yeah, you heard that right. A weight loss party at Mr. Chubby's. The irony's juicier than their wings, but here's the thing. I can celebrate at Mr. Chubby's and still keep the pounds off. If you didn't know, yes, wings are still on the menu while losing weight with Awaken 180 weight loss. Join me in 1010XL on November 9th for the Florida and Texas game, and you could win a spot at my table. Food is included. There'll be ticket giveaways and more for the celebration. If I can shed a whole Mr. Chubby and still throw a party at one, what's holding you back? Call Awaken 180, 844-346-1800, or hit up awaken180weightloss.com, and let's get it done.
Hays Carlyon here. If you're like me in the fall, you want to watch football, not clean. Enter Molly Maid, voted Bold City Best Cleaning Service 3 years in a row. Molly Maid is reliable, friendly, and thorough. Visit mollymaid.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
All right, our picks are brought to you by our friends at Sunshine Turf. Let me tell you this. Nobody does a better job than Sunshine Turf. No matter what it is you need, quality grass installations, affordable prices. SunshineTurf.info is the number, or you can call them at 904-892-0580. SunshineTurf.info. I promise you, they are the folks to call. They do such a fantastic job. Caleb Smith has built that business. Everyone's getting turf now at their yards, putting greens, your playground areas. Sunshine Turf, always a sponsor of our picks contest. Thanks to Caleb and all the great people there. I'm going to do it in my yard, as a matter of fact. So check them out. You'll be glad you did. Let's get right to it. The standings, I kind of gave them to you yesterday. Hayes had to correct me. I cheated him a point. I was hoping I'd get away with it. But I did not. So Hayes is
20. You got to watch him, JJ.
I'm not afraid to cheat. Hayes is 28-20, 36 total points. I'm 26-22, 29 total points. JJ 24-24, 28 total points. Game picker-uppers, Hayes has 5, JJ 2. I do not have one yet. Moneyball, Hayes is 3-2. I'm 3-2. JJ's 2-3. Here we go. College football first. Not many good games. I'm sorry, there's not. But I'm going to start with Auburn at Kentucky. JJ, who do you like?
This is tough.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Auburn. I think Kentucky is, they just are very unimpressive this year. So is Auburn, but they got a lot of turnovers. I think they finally get a win.
Kentucky is without all their good players. The two running backs are gone. So Kentucky is really struggling, but they are at home. I don't believe in Hugh Freeze. I'll take Kentucky at home, Hayes.
I don't fault Kentucky for not being able to contain DJ Lagway.
Well, that's right.
Because no one's going to be able to over the next 3 years. So I will say Kentucky rebounds and holds serve at home.
Here's one that the whole nation's talking about. Game day's even there. Indiana at home against Washington.
Are they?
I don't know much about Indiana, but I know they haven't lost. I've just never been the Jed Fish believer. Everybody else says I'll take Indiana. Hayes.
I'm going to take Washington. Indiana's been a great story, but boy, it feels like their time is coming.
Quarterback's hurt.
So I'll say Washington's able to go in and, despite all the emotion of the day, get a win over the Hoosiers.
And JJ.
I'm going to go with Indiana. Yeah, I know the starting quarterback's hurt, but he still put up like crazy numbers last week. I'll go with the hot hand and go with the Hoosiers.
Game picker-upper for Hays Carlyon. Who goes first here? LSU on the road in front of 100,000 plus at Texas A&M.
I've never thought Texas A&M is overly difficult to play at. I've only attended one game there. It was in 2013. Maybe that's unfair. I know they've redone the stadium since, but I have a lot of confidence that LSU is able to go in there and win that game, so give me the Tigers.
From the Ocala Forest baseball locker room, JJ LaSelva, who do you like?
I'm with Hayes. I think LSU is the better team here. I don't care about the home field advantage. I think LSU has the potential to finish the season undefeated from here on out after a terrible loss to start the year.
At some point, you got to start throwing those Hail Marys. It's a chance for a game picker-upper. I'm going with Mike Elko and the 12th man. Give me A&M. Now, NFL music, please. We go to the National Football League. The Bengals are at home against the Philadelphia Eagles. JJ, what say you?
I'm going to go with the Bengals. I'm really unimpressed with the Eagles this year. The Bengals are finally getting going. I'm going to go with them.
I'm right with you. The Bengals are going to play better at some point. Hayes.
I'm going to take the Eagles here. I think they have more weapons, and I worry about Cincinnati's defense. So give me Philly.
Falcons are at the Bucs. The Bucs have lost both receivers, but somehow at home I think they're going to win this game. I don't know why. I just feel like they're a decent home team. They're not going to be as bad as they were. I think the Ravens would wallop anybody. I'll take the Bucs. Hayes.
I'm going to go the other way. I like the Falcons to rebound after a disappointing loss to Seattle. So give me Kirk Cousins, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Bijan to take down a depleted Bucs squad.
JJ.
Yeah, I like the Falcons as well. This is very sad because I think these teams have already played once. So we're like at the point in the season already where we're getting the second
rematch games.
It's like, were we already there in the football season? I hate it.
So who'd you take, Falcons?
Falcons.
Oh, I got another game picker-upper opportunity. I forgot to write it down. The Colts, where are we here? Colts at Houston.
Huge game.
Colts at Houston. Certainly a big game for our division. Hays Carlyon.
I'm taking the Texans here. I think the Colts are going to start Anthony Richardson, and when that happens, unless they're playing the Patriots or the Panthers, I'm going to go the other way. So I like Houston with C.J. Stroud to get the best of Indianapolis and Richardson.
I got to take them too. Texans at home. JJ.
Clean sweep.
All right, Texans across the board. And finally, the money ball. JJ, kick us off here. Packers at the Jaguars.
I'm going to go with the Packers. I just think that offense is going to be too much for this defense, and I think it'll be close and high scoring, but I'm going to go with the Packers.
Hays Carlyon.
Yeah, I like the Packers here as well. I think I agree. I mean, which means this will be a 10-9 game, but I think it'll be lots of yards on both sides. Really fun game to watch, but I do think the Packers win the game.
I'm going to invent a saying, and I'm going to pass it off to Billy Napier and see if he wants to use it. Scared money don't make money. I don't know if you've heard that or not. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars, the homestanding Jaguars. Listen.
This would be pick up 3 points for you.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm tired of chasing his ass, okay, for 2 years in a row now. I may not catch him, but you know what? I'm throwing it at the end zone. All right.
You're going for 2 at the end of the Tennessee game.
That's exactly right. If I lose to you, it's not going to be because I handed it off and run a lot of off-tackle plays. So I'm going deep. So there you are. There are our picks. Ooh, boy, I've gone in on a lot of them. Let's tell you how it wound up here. LSU at A&M. You guys both like LSU. I'm taking A&M at home. Auburn and Kentucky. Hayes and I both like Kentucky. JJ likes Auburn on the road. Indiana and Washington. JJ and I both like Indiana at home. Hayes likes Washington on the road. Eagles and Bengals. That's Hayes' chance for a game picker-upper. Hey, JJ and I both have the Bengals. Bucks and Falcons. I'll take the Bucks at home. You guys both like the Falcons. Texans. We all think the Texans win at home against the Colts. And I'm taking in the money ball. I'll take the Jags over the Packers. One more time, the standings look like this. Hays Carlyon leads the pack 36 total points, 28 and 20 on the year. I've got 29 total points, 26 and 22. JJ's got 28 total points, 24 and 24. Those are our picks. Once again, brought to you by our good friends at Sunshine Turf. SunshineTurf.info. If you want artificial turf in your yard, if you want a putting green, if you want it under your playground, you just want to have it. It looks good. You don't have to groom it. And he's the best in the business. SunshineTurf.info. Thanks for them for sponsoring our picks. We'll be back to wrap the program after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brett Musburger's Action Update, brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The NASCAR Cup Series racing at Homestead, Miami on Sunday. It's the Straight Talk Wireless 400, and it's the second race of round 3 of the playoffs. There are 3 more spots remaining in the season finale for the championship among the 7 drivers still left in the postseason. Joey Logano claiming a spot after a win last week in Las Vegas. Kyle Larson is the betting favorite to win at Miami. He is at plus 300. Christopher Bell at plus 600. Tyler Reddick plus 700. William Byron also plus 700. Ryan Blaney and Denny Hamlin both plus 1,000 to win at Homestead. They'll run 267 laps around the mile-and-a-half oval. This update brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1010 XL.
Do you feel a ghastly presence in your septic tank this Halloween? A septic emergency is spookier than a haunted house. But fear not. Duck Rooter is here to rescue you from the depths of septic despair.
I'm Vlad, the valiant septic tech, ready to cast out the demons from your septic system. If your toilet's acting possessed or your pipes are stirring up a witch's brew, we got the magic wand to fix it all.
Call Duck Rooter at 904-862-6769 to schedule your septic tank pumping today.
Who has the best lineup this season? Honda. Cars, trucks, SUVs, vans, hybrids, and electric. This is one of the greatest lineups Honda has ever had. And now is the best time to purchase or lease one. Visit your local Honda dealer now. Remember, only a Honda is a Honda.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
Get this thing unwrapped here.
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. Johns County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
When you're hungry for midday sports talk, share a table with Helmets and Heels.
It's a bad idea to travel on an empty stomach.
Mia, Lauren, and Taylor. We like hungry.
Switched on by First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010 XL.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and GIA certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold is recently hit an all-time high at over $2,300 per ounce and hasn't seen this level in over 13 years. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
16 years serving great craft beer in Jacksonville is saying something, and that's worth a round of applause.
and Bold City Brewery is celebrating. Duval's oldest brewery is set up for a big party October 12th, and you don't want to miss it. Live music all day, great food, giveaways, and growlers galore. In fact, Bold City Brewery will be giving away free pints, and someone's going to win free growler fills for a year. It's all at Bold City Brewery, Roselle Street in Riverside. Check out all the details at boldcitybrewery.com.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barr here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Barr Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit barrorthopedics.com.
This is Hays Carlyon for Skylife Elite. Have you ever thought about aircraft ownership as another potential revenue stream and as a tool for tax savings? Put your tax money to work for you while enjoying the benefits of private personal travel. Skylife Elite has over a decade of experience in business aviation and can guide you through the process with their expert staff. Call my friends over at Skylife Elite at 490-9332 or find them at flyskylife.com to get the rundown on everything owning an airplane can do for you.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe. I want to talk to you about picking the right battles to fight in this life. Every day, we have opportunities to get upset and angry. But I want you to realize that sometimes you have to ignore in this life so that you can soar into the kingdom of heaven. My encouragement, friends, to you is to pick the right battles to fight. Fight only battles that help you draw closer to God, because you have to ignore so that you can soar.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars head coach Doug Pederson joined the Frangie Show this afternoon and gave updates on Cam Robinson and Travis Etienne Jr.
Cam is in a better position, obviously. You know, he passed the protocol. We got one more hurdle with him, and that's tomorrow. You know, Etienne is still kind of nursing, you know, the hamstring that he pulled, and I shouldn't say pull. He kind of tweaked it 2 weeks ago. I don't think we're going to have him for this game. Give him one more week to rest. He did practice a little bit this week.
Pederson on Foye Oluwakin and Andrew Wingert.
I would anticipate Foye playing and starting this weekend, and then Dewey possibly getting him back next week.
I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, where have we been on the show today? Doug Pederson joined us as he does on Friday. We appreciate the head coach always making time for us. Talked a little bit about the Green Bay game. Can the Jags make it 2 in a row and 3 out of 4? Have they found a little rhythm? We'll see. We talked about that with Doug. Raphael Esparza from My Bookie was on with Hays to talk about the best plays of the week, so we certainly talked about that. Pete Prisco stopped by from CBSSports.com to talk about Jags in the NFL, and we talked a little bit about the college scene, the playoffs, and who all moves on, and that is the cool down for today. JJ, who's hurt?
The personal injury attorneys of Farah & Farah present this injury update. Farah & Farah, Jacksonville, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, a lot of cues, so a lot of questionables for everybody. First, Travis Etienne with a hamstring, Cam Robinson, of course, the concussion, Mason Smith with the ankle, Foye with the foot, and Wingard with the knee, as well as Asezi Otomewu. I don't know if I'm saying that. Otomewu, yeah, the defensive tackle, questionable with a calf. And this was Doug earlier today talking about Cam Robinson and Etienne.
So Cam, I can announce that he's cleared the protocol. He'll be out there at practice today. We'll see where he's at, but hopefully he's good, and we have to finish him up in contact and stuff. But he can actually be in practice today, so that's a good thing. Etienne, again, we'll still push him today. See where he's at physically before we make a decision. Probably be game time, with him.
Obviously before practice, but that is your injury update.
All right, and I'm excited about that. Again, we only talked about it during the picks. I felt, and maybe I'm the biggest dummy in town, I felt like all week long the Jags are going to win this game. I feel like that the whole galvanizing in London is real. I do feel that way. I know the Patriots aren't very good, and the Jags got off to another slow start in that game. But I do think they found something. I think they need to run the football. I think Walker Little, if he plays left tackle, we'll see where it lands there. I think he's a good run blocker. I think the line played better. I think they found not only they found something with Bigsby, but I think he now is confident. I think there's something. I think the deep balls to Brian Thomas Jr. are real. I think they're a way better defense, despite the way the game started the other day. Remember, that's the first time Darnell Savage had played safety in a long time. Well, now he's got a full game under his belt, having played safety. So I think. And I can't wait to watch Ventrell Miller and Foye Oluokun together. I'm always had glasses half full guy. I know that. But I can't wait to watch those two fast linebackers, those two great first step linebackers play together, which we haven't seen at all. So I know the Packers are good. If you're 5-2 in this league, you're pretty good. And the Packers certainly can be explosive offensively. And Josh Jacobs has made their running game so good. And Jordan Love is going to be one of the good quarterbacks in the league. He's good. But Hays, I have felt all along the Jags are going to win this game.
I hope you're right, because I don't share that sentiment. I think it's if they do win the game, it's fantastic. It's a euphoric Sunday night and victory Monday because they'll be right back in the race with a win on their belt. I think of great consequence. The Packers are already 3-0 in this division in the AFC South, so the Jaguars would be doing something nobody else in their division was able to do in beating Green Bay. One of the things that I keep coming back to is the turnover. When you look at the ratio for both these clubs, the Packers are +6. That's tied for third in the NFL. They have 17 takeaways, which leads the NFL by 3. So a very aggressive ball hawking unit that believes they're going to take the ball off of you. The Jaguars defense does not have that. The Jaguars are -4 in turnover ratio. That ranks 27th in this league. They've only got 3 takeaways and only 2 of those by the defense because one happened on special teams. And they've been pretty good. They've only given the ball away 7 times, but I worry about that. I think Green Bay's probably going to win the turnover battle because that's what the data tells us. These teams are very far apart, +6 versus -4. And I do worry about the Jaguars' ability to cover the Packers' weapons. Tyson Campbell, I think, will play well, and he'll help negate one guy. But between Reed and Dobbs and Watson and Wicks and then Kraft at tight end and Josh Jacobs out of the backfield, I just think it's ultimately going to be too much for a struggling defense to all of a sudden play really well against. Now, the Packers just may not play well. So hopefully that happens. And I certainly believe Trevor Lawrence and the offense can get hot and score in the 30s. But ultimately, I think a very entertaining game, but one that the Jaguars do not get.
Give me a score from Hard Rock Stadium on a Saturday night.
I went 45-17 yesterday, and I think that's even too
low.
I think that's too low. I'll say Miami wins this game 48-10.
I'm going to go 54-21. JJ.
Wow. Which would be a season high for FSU.
That'd be crazy.
Would be.
Well, but everyone's scoring on my.
No,
I agree. I agree.
How about what you just said though? 21 would be.
Isn't that amazing?
54-21. Hey JJ, give me a score.
38-17.
Okay, yeah. So we all think the same kind of game. Just how many points? I think more points. I can't imagine watching what Miami's done these last few games. They don't put a 50 burger up. I just can't imagine that.
I think FSU's defense is going to. They're not great, but I mean, they're so much better than the offense.
Yeah.
It's their best part of their team. I just think, how could they not be up for this game? You know, this is their Super Bowl. They have a chance to literally ruin their rival's season. Like, they have nothing else to play for this year. So I can't see them not being up for this game, Florida State, that is.
We'll see what winds up happening. Hey, one note, I've been meaning to get to this today. Florida and USF open the basketball season a week from Monday. It's right around the corner. It's hard to believe that college basketball is right around the corner, 10 days out from the first college basketball season for the season opener. What a horribly tragic story. You've probably seen it by now. The USF basketball coach, so well respected in the industry, Amir Abdur-Rahim. Certainly JU and UNF know all about him because he did a great job at Kennesaw State before getting the USF job. Showed up at USF last year, so respected in the industry, and went 25-7, and maybe the best basketball start they had in forever. Died at the age of 43. Complications in Tampa from a procedure. He had been ill. Did not heard a lot more about it since then, but he was only 43 years old. So Amir Abdur-Rahim, the very highly respected and well-liked USF basketball coach, dead at the age of 43. What a terribly sad story.
Just an absolute crushing story, and one in which you just don't see. I can't remember the last time a coach at a significant program died at such a young age. I mean, it's just beyond tragic. And, I mean, I just obviously now you know, how do you even get through a season? You know, it's just, I mean, the challenge of what those players and what that staff is going to have to go through, having to bear this grief and still go out there and play a season. It really, it's just an incredible tragedy.
When he got the job before last year, Michael Kelly, who used to live here, by the way, he was here to put on the Super Bowl 20 years ago, and now is he went to work for the ACC for a while, and now is the athletic director at USF. I told a great story. So when he hired him a year ago, he said, Amir said to him, "Are you afraid of heights?" He said, "Hope not, because you're going to get up that ladder and cut down some nets." In the first year, won that conference in the first year. So a fantastic basketball coach. And well before knowing this, we haven't talked about college basketball matchups yet because we're in the heart of football season. But I was thinking to myself, when we get to this, that's not going to be a no-brainer for the Gators. It's not. I mean, this is a team that won 25 games last year. This is a good team, and which was why the tickets are selling well. I'm told it would be what a fun night watching Florida and South Florida play two good basketball teams, and now it'll be a sad and emotional night. You know, so certainly emotional for South Florida, and I know the Florida basketball team has reached out, as many in the basketball community have. So a very sad story that Amir Abdur-Rahim dead at the age of 43. The outstanding young South Florida basketball coach. I am excited about college basketball season. JU and UNF will spend a lot of time out there when the week comes along. LSU and Texas A&M, fun game. I picked A&M. Not sure I'm completely convinced they're going to win, but that was the
sometimes you gotta.
Sometimes you're trying to win a
go
contest.
against the grain,
you got to go. Yeah. I mean, I had an opportunity there. Yeah. So, but I think LSU's good, and I think LSU is good and not talked about good. I'm interested to keep an eye on Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. I find myself thinking Ole Miss is going to slip a little bit. When Ole Miss lost to Kentucky and then bounced back and laid it to South Carolina, I thought, okay, that was just a blip. But then watching Kentucky, who's not good, not as good as they've been in the last 4 or 5 years. Would you agree with that?
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So I don't know.
And it's amazing. It tells you how far Oklahoma has fallen, because I believe Oklahoma Ole Miss plays tomorrow.
See the line? Do you see the number?
It's big, and
it's 20.
It's 20.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss is not having the season they expected to have.
Yeah. I mean,
and they're still a 20-point favorite over the Sooners.
I mean, Oklahoma University.
Oklahoma may have played its last relevant game for a while. I mean, if this, I mean, they are not handling SEC play
their
well at
offense
all.
is putrid.
It's putrid.
Oklahoma University.
I stupidly picked them to beat Tennessee a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I did too. Oklahoma, man, I know I didn't pick that, but
I think I was the only one dumb enough to do that.
But I thought it'd be a good game. Oklahoma University, with Barry Switzer and Bob Stoops and Bud Wilkinson, for God's sake, is going to the University of Mississippi and is a 20-point underdog.
Yes.
I could tell you, if you'd have told me that at any time in my previous 65 years on the planet, I'd have told you lost your mind.
Joe C. said earlier this is the biggest spread since 1998, which was, I believe, Stoops' first year there.
Yeah, it was.
It was because he won the title in
99. And John Blake.
Oh, wait, did he win it in 99 or 2000?
2000.
Yeah,
2000.
So it might have been the year before Stoops arrived.
Probably.
Because John Blake was terrible.
Right.
John Blake, he was only there 3 years, and he was a very bad coach. And they immediately hired Stoops to replace him. Folks, that's our program. Enjoy the football weekend. I hope you're going to the bank on Sunday. It's going to be a fun game. I think the Jags are going to win. I'm in the minority. I know that. We'll see if I'm as dumb as I normally am. We'll see if that winds up happening. Jags and Packers on Sunday. Fun football weekend. Beautiful weather. Enjoy it. We'll see you next week on Monday. Same bat time, same